Hey, what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another vid. Gerald Washington will be stepping in to face Deontay Wilder on February 25th for the WBC heavyweight title. It's in response to the failed drug test of Deontay Wilder's initial opponent for the bout, Andrew Warzik, which I and many others have protested to begin with. All right, because obviously I believe that fight should have never been made. Wilder should have no business fighting guys like Andrew Warzik because he's just a very lower tier heavyweight. Okay. What I find funny about this is that Warzik, when he failed the drug test, I didn't see any support from him when he failed it, unlike Povetkin. It just amazes me, man, because it's very obvious the reason why Povetkin got more support than Warzik, because Povetkin was the only viable opponent that had a chance to beat Wilder until he fucked up the chance of fighting him. So twice that, by that matter. So that would explain why there's no support for Warzik opposed to Povetkin when he failed the drug test. So, but it also brings in question to light here about all these Eastern European fighters failing these drug tests, particularly under the WADA program. So, I'm seeing videos now that people are trying to make to discredit WADA, trying to discredit VADA, whatnot. It's rather silly because again, it seems like they had no problem with WADA when other fighters. I'm not gonna name who he is. He is. You guys know who I'm talking about. He's retired now. He lives in Vegas, which I admit I had a problem with him undergoing VADA testing regimen, whatnot. That crowd who was pushing him to undergo VADA's strict drug testing program, but when it comes to other fighters who object to VADA, they're okay with it. So. No, it's just always got to call out the double standard here. But needless to say, though, the good thing is that Gerald Washington is stepping in, and this is actually a much better opponent. He's a much better opponent than Andrew Warzik, despite the fact that I have been critical of Washington on some occasions, particularly his performance against Amir Mansour and his last performance against Eddie Chambers, if you ask me. Now, don't get me wrong. Washington does have some great skill. He does have some power. As a heavyweight, he's big. He's very, agile. He can move on his feet. He has good footwork. But the thing about Washington is that, he relies too much on his back foot fighting technique, whatnot. But sometimes when your opponent is neutralized, like Eddie Chambers, for example, in that fight, Eddie Chambers couldn't do anything to Washington because Washington did a very good job of keeping him at distance. He used his jab. He used his height. So it really disrupted Eddie Chambers. I mean, we all know that Eddie Chambers, that form of Eddie Chambers was way over the hill. But still, though, even the prime Eddie Chambers, in my opinion, wouldn't beat Gerald Washington, if you ask me. But needless to say, though, Gerald Washington had many opportunities to knock him out, but he elected not to do it. He wanted to play it safe. He wanted to be extra cautious, whatnot. And sometimes, you can't do that when you have your opponent neutralized. Sometimes you got to go for it. You got to go for the kill, Not literally, but you know what I mean. But definitely a much more valuable opponent than Andrew Warzik. So I'm glad that Gerald Washington is getting the opportunity. He should have gotten the opportunity in the beginning. Another good thing about this is that Washington was quoted by saying, I think Mr. Boxer today had interviewed him. Shout out to him, by the way. That if the time had come, if he had to step in, if the fight with him and between Wilder and Andrew Warzik had fell through by any means, then he'll step in. He'll gladly step in. He's been training. He's been preparing, so it looks like he's in shape. So definitely a great opportunity for him. I think he's gonna give Deontay Wilder a lot of problems in this fight. So, he's actually I think Wilder's 2 inches taller than him, and the reach is I think they have about the same reach, or the reach is a little bit. Wilder has a longer reach than Washington. Of course, Wilder has much more power than Washington. So, this will be the first time that Gerald has to face somebody who's bigger than him. height-wise, not weight-wise, because we all know that Washington's 245, so he's much bigger than Wilder by mass. But height, definitely the height advantage goes to Deontay Wilder. So definitely interesting fight matchup. Looking forward to it. Besides that, whole heavyweight card is very interesting. I want to get into that really shortly. Izzy Ugano versus Dominic Brazil. That would be a very good fight. I'm looking forward to that one. I think Amir Mansour is on that card as well, so I have to check and see who he's fighting. But yeah, definitely a good heavyweight a good heavyweight card coming up on February 25th. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, drop a comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are about this fight. Who do you see winning it? Obviously, I'm going to have to go with Wilder with this one. Then again, it's the heavyweights. Anything can happen. So let me know what your thoughts are. Signing off. Peace.